Happy Saturday. Have not done a video tour or update back here. It has been a while. We have a lot going on. We have a lot of projects in the works, and there's a lot of disruption happening here on our urban farm. We're located in Scottsdale, Arizona, 85254. If you're just catching up with us for the first time today, for everybody else, this is my salad mix. There is 7 different species of salad in here, and then we square foot gardened some other aspects into it. Onions, as you can see, and we're just building soil, and you know what this also does is it creates a cover crop for this. But we're just, this is a new garden. It's a first plant. No, I take that back. Well, no, this is the first time we've planted in this current state. We repurposed raised beds, and we took the soil that we had made with the raised beds and just made this big long garden back in this little part of the orchard. So that we've been eating this. I have more than I could eat. We share it with our friends and family and neighbors. We also let it go to seed so that we get volunteers coming back here. So what would be nice is if we let this go to seed, we harvest them, we harvest what we need and more to share, and we let this harvest go to seed. That's going to go to seed. This here is going to go to seed right there. That's going to go to seed. There's another big one right here. That whole thing is going to go to seed. And then there's more, you know, right there, right down there by the lavender. And I'm okay if this goes to seed and is a little wild. I'm okay with thinning things out. My goal is to build soil. And part of how we do that is underneath these barrels, there and there, we have 5-gallon jugs that we're making compost with, and it's going to be pretty cool. Back here, we've been doing lots of work, really moving a lot of stuff. By Sunday, there all the way to there will be that'll be all taken out and put on beds. And like I said, we're making raised beds, we're expanding, and it's going to be really cool. But right here I'm going to have 6 compost centers. I want to store wood chips. I want to have different methods of composting, and there are several methods of composting, and this is just going to be 6 square areas, square sections. So from like here, you know, the width of a pallet, you know, so the width of this, take this and it'll be almost to where that rail would be. Then there'll be another one here, and then 5 others. And each of them, we're going to have experiments going on. So this will be fun to follow us. Safe to fail experiments, and what happens in the different soil, how we make things, and you know, its purpose and how it gets used. 3 years ago, these were all wood chips, and now it's just this gorgeous gorgeous compost, and we will be feeding it. We'll be feeding it, but look at that. All of this was wood chips. If you go back many years ago, we're in the process of rebuilding here. Many years ago, we had 16 big, huge dump truck loads from arborists drop off all these wood chips. And the wood chips were everywhere. They were all up and down. I mean, everywhere. And I had to get them out of here. This down here is the last of the pile. And it was last week. It was out to here, and we've moved this significantly. Significantly have we moved this. It was stacked up against this wood, so I cleared a path to be able to walk through here, and then we'll do the same thing back here. We're just going to spread all of this out, and we're getting a new fence. We had our property surveyed. Right there, the pink. That's the property line, but this is an easement. So, could I build a fence back there? Absolutely. And if the county, if the city, if the power, whatever, governing bodies came through and wanted to come back there and do something and work on the power lines, behind me, right up here, whoop, right there. And they needed to come through here, and we have to grant them permission to do that. It's recorded document. It's a recorded document. But what we can do is risk what goes back there, knowing that if it does get disrupted, that it gets disrupted, and that's it. And is it something that you can care for? Is it something that you can mend and nurture back? Or do you cut it at the base, let the roots decay, and just start over? I've been here since 2013. I haven't had anybody other than just passerbyers, citizens walking down here, which is legal too. And so what I'm going to do for our alleyway is I'm going to, not just from our fence, but all the way over to the wall, to here, to there. I'm going to rent a bobcat. We're going to run through here all the way down to the neighbors, trim these trees up so that we can get through there, come all the way back, clean this up, get all this concrete and this stuff left over up in here from jeepers, up in there from the prior mason wall getting going through. And then I'm going to clean this up. This is gold. It's crappy and cruddy, and like I said, it's just filled with years and years of debris. I mean, there's some old pipe. It's the neighborhood was built back in the 60s, so this is stuff that's been around here for a long time. But the cool thing is when they built this wall on this property here, this was a beautiful specimen, and it got knocked over. The big main trunk I transplanted it in the front yard, and the rest of this I didn't do anything. I wanted to see what it would do, and it all came back except for like these little spots right down in there, but everything else grew. Even it's going sideways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repurpose these, replant them, put them along the fence line, the new fence line on the outside on our property, and that'll add as a barrier. These transplants super easy, and we'll thin them out. There's got to be probably 1, 2, 3, 6 6 potentials over there, you know, plant them 6 feet apart. There's, you know, that one that is already down but is still growing. You know, there's 3 there. There's 1 there, there's 1 there. And these little bitty ones in the center, you know, we might be able to save and nourish them. But we want to clean this up. We want this to look good. And we're in the process of knocking down the fence and getting everything squared away. So super excited. Can't wait. And then we want to get this all cleaned up. But all these wood chips here are also going to be put on this back easement in this alleyway, so it's going to look really nice. It's going to look like an extension of our property as we finish it off, and you know, it'll look like this, just nice and wood chippy, and we're making soil. Now that's look at all that soil we can make. We can grow all that soil, and if shit ever hits the fan, guess what? I got extra room to grow. You know, look at how well this stuff does. Can you imagine a whole alleyway full of salad greens? And what if the next neighbor did it? And what if the next neighbor did it? And what if the next neighbor did it? And what if a whole block, you know, 10 houses, 12 houses did that? I think that'd be a cool experiment. I'll have to look into that. All right, everybody, take care. This is Rick Borden with Arizona Urban Farms. We're hanging out today in Scottsdale, Arizona, 85254, and just enjoying this beautiful sunset that we have happening. I'm out in the woods, sorry, but it looks pretty from my end. Take care, everybody. This is Rick Borden.